make everything nice and comfortable for this conversation that we are going to start. So, first of all, before I start our conversation about holism, I want to say to all my people in Israel, stay calm, stay relaxed, stay strong, because times now are a little bit hard. And the main thing is to stay focused, stay positive, and do the right things in order to get through these hard times in the best way possible. Now, with that said, let's start our conversation today. And today we're going to talk about Holism 2.0, a new concept that I want to introduce you. And before we get into this Holism 2.0, we need to first ask ourselves the question, what holism is? What is the definition? And the definition of holism is that holism is a philosophical concept that suggests that complex systems should be viewed as wholes rather than just the sum of their parts. Let's give it an example. So you have something like a car. Just a moment. Okay, so you have a car. A car is a thing. Like you might say, okay, that's a car, but actually it's a whole system. And this system has lots of parts. It has the wheel, it has the handbrakes, it has the engine, it has the wishers, it has like all of these parts in it. But it's not about just these parts, it's about the interconnections and how these parts are interconnected together that makes the experience of driving in a car possible. Like, that's pretty simple. Another examples of holistic systems is like the ecosystem, for example. So if we take a forest, the forest cannot exist by itself. It exists with the interconnection between a lot of parts. So the tree has the roots that go inside the ground has fungi, there is a whole set of causations and information that go from tree to tree. There are animals that eat other animals, or maybe a lot of plants, and there is a whole world happening in the forest that make it a system and make it alive. Same, you have the coral reef, you have all the life above ground and underground, and you have the humans. For example, the humans is a system. Human body is a system. Okay, so you see a human, but it's actually a whole holistic system. There is the brain, there is all the organs, there is the skin, there is the bones, there is the neurons and the neurotransmitters, and they're all connected together, creating if we say that consciousness is created in the brain, I don't believe so, but let's go with this for a moment. It can create the sense of consciousness, and then the human is interacting with the never bigger system, which is the whole planet. Yes, so it's systems connected and with other systems and interconnected, and having some sort of conversation with all these other systems. So basically, the universe is like a giant system which contains a lot of systems in it, and some of these systems are holistic systems. Okay, for example, like the ecosystem or the human body. Now we have something like psychology. Okay, so not only we have a lot of different psychology maps and theories and movements, psychology itself is a holistic system. Okay, organizations, okay, and businesses, you have the boss, you have the staff, you have the manager, you have the marketing department, you have the business department, the sales department, you have the customers. It's an oiled machine that works together, and even if one part of the system doesn't work good, it affects the whole system. Okay, so the important thing about it is that the interconnections are very, very important. And let's take also education. Of course, so there is the people. Okay, let's take a school. You have people, you have the kids, you have the teachers, you have the facility, You have the curriculum, you have the actual books, you have the language, which is a system by itself that's contained inside the book, and all of this together, and you have like it's connected to other systems, to the taxation system, to the municipality, and to the city, and to the country, and to the world. So as you see, it's like Russian doll, system inside system inside system. Okay. Now, this is like a couple of examples about just different systems, but also holistic systems is something a little different. And let's take a couple of therapeutic holistic systems, educational holistic systems, or training holistic systems. So one is, of course, yoga. You all know it's the definition of yoga is unity, and it's about the holistic system between couple of parts of a human being or an even spiritual being. So the systems are mind, body, and soul. It's all about interconnecting those and achieve a goal, which is enlightenment, a state of enlightenment. Now you have meditation. Again, it's a holistic system of inner processes that happen that put you inside a meditative state, again for some sort of goal. You have Chinese medicine with the meridians and the different ways to manipulate parts of the body, the theory behind it, thousands of years of theory behind it, all together connected into a holistic system that's called Chinese medicine. Movement culture, when you go into the body, you have different types of movements, like for example dancing, fighting, just walking or running or fitness. But then you have a holistic system which contains all of them, which is called movement culture. Yes, for example, what Ido Portal is doing, holistic system. And again, you have like NLP, which is a holistic system, a giant meta system. That it's all about goals, setting goals, and creating modules. Okay, and let's take also hip hop. Okay, hip hop, it's about dance, it's about graffiti. It has a lot of components, all with the goal of artistic self-expression and just being expressive as a human. So you have elements. You have breaking, you have DJing, graffiti, MCing, and the knowledge part, 5 elements. So as you see each system, in order for it to become holistic, it needs to have a couple of elements. And usually I call it holistic triangles. But in many cases, it's not a triangle, it consists of 4 or 5 elements. But what are some examples of holistic triangles? One is, as I said, the simple one, mind, body, and soul. These 3 parts, which are like meta parts, connected together, they create a holistic system. Because if you go smaller, the body is already a holistic system. But if you want to go further, you have the interconnection of these 3 parts, mind, body, and soul. And it's like a bigger, more complete picture. So holism is about the big picture and a great goal to achieve through understanding and through acting on a specific big picture. You might see it like this. Another triangle would be the NLP triangle, visual, audio, kinesthetic. Okay, it's about the human experience, that you experience the world visually, you experience audially, and you experience kinesthetically. Also, you have like smaller parts, which is the symbolic interpretation and stuff like this, but that's the main 3. The outer world that you experience from the inner world. Now you have simple things like in the Christian religion, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Okay, again, you have 3 parts that all together are like the base of the Christian religion. Hip hop, we have 4. I talked about the elements, but you have like bigger parts, the values of the system, which is peace, unity, love, and having fun. Okay? And in YNL, what we have the keys framework, which is knowledge, evolution, going away from entropy, creativity, and self-expression. Again, 5. So this is about the values that create the system, that make it holistic. And then you have the smaller parts, which is actually the technique. So if each system, each holistic system has philosophy and has a way to achieve what you as a philosopher of the system paint with the philosophy. Okay, so if you paint peace, unity, love, and having fun, hip-hop as a representation tries to achieve that values. Okay? Now, this was all example of existing holistic systems. So that's what I call Holism 1.0. Now, what is Holism 2.0? In a moment. I will really tell it to you in a moment, but first let's jump to a last thing that will build the bridge to Holism 2.0. So, if we take the systems that I already talked about, usually they have a specific goal, which is a very big goal, but it's very specific. So let's take some examples of some goals. So one would be health. There are a lot of systems which have the main goal, which is a holistic health and well-being. Okay? Other can be achieving goals. Like for example, NLP is about achieving your goals, being able to achieve goals, and moduling. That's another goal. But still, it's a holistic system, but with another direction. Like everything that is done through the system is done to a different direction for a different result. And that's very important to understand the Holism 2.0. Then we have some systems that are about understanding, okay, like philosophical systems, for example, or even ideology. You have like, well, I would not call it holistic systems, but it's still a system like communism or capitalism and stuff like that. But then you have also understanding, which is like all the philosophy that you can study, the Stoics, for example. Then we have artistic expression. For example, hip-hop is a system that, yes, it's for peace, unity, love, and having fun, but it's really to the goal of art. Artistic expression, you express yourself. That's a very important goal in that system. Then you have creativity as a system, spiritual growth and spiritual enlightenment. Most spiritual systems are about that. So if we talk about Tai Chi, Buddhism, yoga, they kind of pursue the same goal, which is achieving enlightenment and liberation from your untrue self. Then you have physical abilities, so movement. Well, movement culture is actually into achieving flow, sort of the Tao, but also increasing your physical ability. So, and flow states, okay, all of them kind of play with this concept of flow states. Some even have this goal of manifestation. For example, if you go to reality transurfing and a lot of new age systems, they talk about manifestation and basically about being able to have in reality, manifest in reality what you want. That's like esotericism, a specific kind of esoteric system. Okay, so why we talked about these goals of all these systems? Because in Holism 2.0, we now take all these goals and then we combine them into one big goal. That's why I call it Holism 2.0, because we take the whole thing, the whole holistic systems, and we try to build them into one meta system. And why it wasn't done before? Because first, all the existing systems, what they used knowledge and they used practices that were existed already, and then they created a sort of system which created a sort of bubble. And then this bubble is really hard to change, because the moment system is built, it already has boundaries, right? So yoga, for example, you have different types of yoga. You have Kriya yoga, Hatha yoga, and all the other stuff, but it's still fixed, pretty fixed. Same you can talk about NLP. You have The old school NLP, you have the new code NLP, but still NLP as a system is already, it has its principles. So it's already like a closed loop system. It is holistic, but I would not call it Holism 2.0 because there is something beyond that system. And same you can say about all the systems that we talked about movement culture, about Tai Chi, about meditation. These systems are already existing. But Holism 2.0 is about taking all the wisdom and all the instruments of all these systems and creating something new. Why? Because these systems that are already created are now can be viewed as parts. Okay? The key idea here in this Holism 2.0 that there is no fixed system that is whole, because each system looks for one goal and have certain elements, and it looks at some parts of reality, but reality is infinite, so you need an infinite system, which is why in YNL the main part that we talk about is evolution, infinite transformation. What I try to do with YNL is create a system that will always transform and always change. And that's one of the basic principles. This is what makes this system infinite. Okay? Which means that in 100 years, YNL should be something totally different. And it's okay. You know, some teachers, they don't want for their students to even change one word from what they say because they are scared that their system will be corrupt. But that's what creates this ceiling to the system. And that's what creates a ceiling to the understanding and the abilities of the student. And what I teach is that YNL is a system that, yes, I show you how to create this YNL lifestyle or YNL method. I show you the principles, but these principles are fluid. And you at some point can be able and should be able to change and create your own version of YNL. That's the difference. And YNL is the Holism 2.0. Why? Because YNL, what I try to do, and I can already confidently say we try to do, because I'm not the only one at this point, is taking all holistic systems that we talked about, movement, yoga, psychology, all this stuff, studied deeply to understand and essence hunt the most important parts of that system, deconstruct it and reconstruct it into a new thing, which will be more complete and more direct and with more signal than the system that it used to be before. And this is done with all systems, and the process of studying deeply, getting the principles, deconstructing, reconstructing, and adding, this is Holism 2.0. And you need this skill, what I talked about of 5-step skill. When you have it in you, you can quickly study and learn all the principles of every holistic system, reconstruct it and create your own YNL system. This is Holism 2.0. And this is making you more free and light and open without so much ideology in you, which is the whole idea. Why? Because in YNL, what we are doing, we are trying to create two facets with this Holism 2.0. One of which is becoming a conscious player, basically being infinitely self-expressive, being authentic, being connected to the core of your soul, of who you are, and being able to express it in every way that you chose without any limitations, and quickly study like ways of expression, get the best benefits out of it, and deconstruct it and add it to your own thing. That's what conscious playing is about. And the other facet is being a conscious creator, which is basically creating your own game. Okay, you are, as we talked before, you are a holon, you are part of this giant holistic system. And in this, you become sovereign with your full authority and with full knowledge and understanding, you create your own thing. And then these two facets connected together, they create the full experience, the full holistic, infinite agent of evolution. I actually didn't yet get the right name for the combination of conscious player and conscious creator. It still didn't come, and I'm sure with some contemplation and with time, this concept will come, but now I call it infinite agent of evolution. It sounds cool to me, but of course it's not the final name for this. But maybe if you listen from the beginning, you kind of get the sense of what we are trying to build here. We are trying to encompass all holistic system, deconstruct them and create like a diamond of a system. So if before we talked that every system consists of triangles like body, mind and soul triangle, peace, unity, love and having fun, visual, audio, kinesthetic. So these triangles, imagine that Holism 2.0 will be sort of a diamond with so many facets into them that are all interconnected, like a new type of mind that consists of already holistic system in it. And each time that you study a new system, because you have the ability to deconstruct it, reconstruct it, learn it deeply, because you know how to do it, you have already done it with many holistic systems without getting stuck in any one of them, it just makes you almost a superhuman. Now this is a big vision, and I am my first guinea pig for this. What am I doing? I'm studying systems, I'm getting to the principles, and I'm adding and reconstructing and creating my own thing. And I'm doing it with every system. I study transactional analysis, NLP, meditation, yoga, breaking, all style, experimental. I do everything. I find the principles and then I reconstruct them, and then I try to surpass the system by this process. And usually this process is not taught via the system because, and this is important, each system wants to keep itself the way it is. It's just the nature of it. You have even Buddhism. Like you have the Eightfold Path. You cannot add the ninth, because then you are not a Buddhist anymore. Okay, and religions, of course, they are rigid, but even open systems like yoga, you have the asanas. Can you be open and create your own thing? No, they will say it's not yoga. That's what I try to fix in what I know. And again, it's not so easy, and it also can have limitations to it. Why? Because maybe someone will decide that he just adds some bullshit without going through a deep process of contemplation, learning the system inside out, getting to the highest possible levels of awareness and of consciousness and all this type of stuff, and really getting mastery of this process. It's a dangerous part. Yes, and I will try and find ways how to get it through it, but the idea is infinite evolution system, infinite transformation system that is beyond what I know. This is what I know. And this is Holism 2.0. Okay, I kind of introduced you to the concept. I hope you liked it. This live stream, I will keep it in YouTube so you can re-watch it. You can get inspired by it. You can go into all the systems and study them and enrich your life. And you can contemplate for your own self what is Holism 2.0 for you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.